Good evening. My name is Nash Schaefer. I am here in Chicago, Illinois. I'm the pastor of Faith Evangelical Lutheran Church, which is a part of the Missouri Synod. According to the Michelle text, ethnography is a way of immersing yourself in the life of a people in order to learn something about and from them. And so when I heard the word immerse, I saw this as you basically baptizing yourself into the narrative of the congregation. This text on ethnography sounds very much like qualitative research, in which we did on last year, because qualitative research did deal with narratives and everything, and how those narratives are interpreted. Except that when we look at the Michelle text, it's more or less interpreting the sacred in terms of dealing with the stories of a congregation. One thing I discovered in terms of ethnography and what the ethnographer is doing is that they are also a detective. What are they detecting? They're detecting what the congregation is saying, but they're also detecting what the congregation is not saying in order to get to the truth of the narrative. Each narrative is based upon a person's point of view. And so when you're interviewing your congregation, you're talking to your congregation, you are the detective, you are the Columbo, you are the one trying to find out the story, but you're trying to find out different versions of the story. Now, understand this, people often tell us the things that the nice part that they were involved in or that they really want us to know. And so you're talking, you are investigating. Now, one thing I had to find out about myself was I felt that I was being nosy, and I saw myself as trying to pull a scab off. But as I begin to read the text and study ethnography, that's not really the case. It's just you're trying to honor the narrative, and you're trying to find out the truth of the narrative, and in the truth of finding out the narrative, possibly bring healing to a situation, but also in another sense, the congregation to see themselves much differently than what they were before. And so when we study ethnography, the ethnographer is not just a detective, but the ethnographer is also a shepherd. Because what are you doing now? You're going through the narrative, and you're going through the valley of the shadow of death in the life of a congregation. What does the shepherd do? The shepherd shepherds people through the valley of the shadow of death. And so as an ethnographer, you're going into some dark places that you really don't want to go into, but for the sake of the project, this is what you're doing. But you're doing it now with a heart of compassion and a heart of love, whereby your congregation, hopefully you're reflecting what Christ is in their life. Thank you very much.